to avoid colliding with a Qatar Airways plane. The Federal Transport Minister is due to meet with the Chief Executive of Air Services Australia to discuss the incident. The Australian's aviation writer, Robin Ironside, says it's concerning.
Especially considering a similar incident happened just 2 weeks ago today at Sydney Airport with two Qantas aircraft.
And the Odyssey continues to storm the big screen and the even bigger screen. It has become IMAX's biggest release of all time with $289 million. Now turning to 5AA sport, and Tex Walker's days playing for the Crows are coming to an end. He's hanging up the boots at the end of the season. Today's announcement coming with 316 games under his belt and 706 goals. He says his footy career has been an amazing ride.
I'm the most grateful for people that I've been able to meet and create memories with. You know, you could go through on-field when you debut to playing milestone games to winning big games at Adelaide Oval to getting wings on the road to playing final series. We nearly got it done in 2017. Hopefully we have another crack at it this year.
Coach Matthew Nix says he's been a great leader.
He puts the group first, wears his heart on his sleeve, and at times that's, got us into a bit of trouble, but I'm extremely lucky and privileged to have been able to coach him for the time I have.
Port will be without Darcy Byrne-Jones this weekend when they face Melbourne at home. He's accepted a one-match ban following an incident during Saturday's game against Sydney. It occurred during the third quarter and was graded by the MRO as careless conduct with medium impact and high contact. And Geelong has held an emergency board meeting to work out its response to the AFL over the concussion waiver scandal. The Cats have until the close of business tomorrow to explain themselves. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Mawson Lakes, roads are closed due to flooding. Port Waitford Road at the Salisbury High on the Dry Creek ramp. At Port Adelaide, road closure still in place following a structure fire last week. Ocean Steamers Road at Eastern Parade. In Parracombe, road closure due to Fallen Rocks, Gorge Road at Corkscrew Road. And got traffic lights on the Blink at Ingle Farm, Montague Road near Fairfax Road. Camera up, Press Road, Brooklyn Park. More value, less fuel. BYD C-Line 8 Super Hybrid, 56,990 drive away with free on-road costs for a limited time. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, showers this afternoon, showers increasing tomorrow, 17. Wednesday, showers easing, 15. Thursday, a shower or two, 17. Right now, it's 15 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Braglis. Tonight, a legend of our game calls time. Tex Walker's emotional announcement. We look back on the career of a kid from Broken Hill who dreamed of being a Crow. The clean-up after record-breaking rain. Jessica Braithwaite with the huge tallies and what's still coming. And Port rules out an Adelaide Oval swan song for Zach Butters. 9 News. Your news. Nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
For over 40 years, Nature Foundation has been conserving, restoring and protecting South Australian landscapes, flora and fauna to ensure the survival for future generations like mine. And you can help. Join, donate, volunteer or simply learn more and support their work. Find out how you can be part of the change at naturefoundation.org.au. Thank you.
Hi there, it's Jane Riley. You've heard me speak before about a company in Adelaide providing solutions to support community health in Australia and overseas. That company, of course, is Fusion Clinical Research, but I think sometimes the contribution Fusion makes to our health landscape is overlooked. The committed research being done by the Fusion team is helping bring us closer to cures for many illnesses, and that is something we should all celebrate. Fusion, trusted research, proven results.
Don't miss the biggest and best Canberra Floriade yet. Holiday Wonders has a range of value-packed Floriade holidays departing from Adelaide. Our special 7-day Trains to the Tulips package includes gold-class travel aboard the Indian Pacific, along with special sightseeing highlights, including the smash hit musical My Fair Lady at the Sydney Opera House, and first-class rail travel to Canberra for the festival. Places are selling fast. Book now at holidaywonders.com.au.
We've all had it happen, even I have. I'm talking about that sliding patio door or window that you have to wrestle with to open and close. Luckily, Rollerco were able to get the parts I needed to fix it, and if I can do it, you can do it. For over 40 years, Rollerco have been making, fixing and supplying parts for all sorts of sliding doors and windows. Do what I did. Call into Shop 3, 26 Jacobson Crescent at Holden Hill, or visit the website rollerco.com.au. They'll get you rolling.
Step inside the studio display home from Selector Homes. It's a modern, architecturally designed two-storey masterpiece that redefines urban living. Featuring polished concrete floors and a striking monorail staircase, this stunning home blends style and innovation in every detail. With 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, it's ideal for smaller land sizes that demand clever, beautiful design. Discover the future of contemporary living. The Studio Display Home by Selector Homes. Visit selectorhomes.com.au.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
Local, topical,
Fun. This is Afternoons with Leith Forrest.
9 minutes after 3, you might be listening to us on the 5AA Player app, your DAB digital radio, or of course you're going to be watching us too. We're on Facebook, on YouTube. It's our live stream. You can hear us and watch us at the same time. Why would you not do that? Big hour on the way too, by the way. Very shortly, we're going to speak to Neil Smith. Neil is the former producer of Here's Humphrey and Postcards. Neil will join us to pay tribute to the great Ian Fairweather, who passed away over the weekend. You might have a memory or a story about Ian that you would like to share. A lot of people getting nostalgic for the television in Adelaide of the 60s, 70s and 80s, of which Ian was a great part. So we'll discuss that a little later on in the show. This being a Monday, it is Afternoon Delight. We want to hear your good news stories, your fun news stories, anything that brought you some joy of recent times. And we've got the $50 Quincy's confectionery voucher to give away. Joe and the team there at Quincy's, they celebrate 50 years of superb locally made chocolate. You can shop in store or online at quincy.com.au. That's QUINZI. There might be something over the weekend that you want to let us know about, and we would love to take your calls. Now, I should say that should you be not lucky enough to win the Quincy's prize, every caller that goes to air today and throughout the week, but every day we've got 4 tickets to give away to the Royal Adelaide Show. So every caller that goes to air is in the running for that. There is nothing like the show, as you know. It's presented by Drake's. If you miss it, you will be left with a serious case of SHOMO. All week, family passes to give away. Tickets are available at theshow.com.au and at Drake's supermarkets, or you can win them right here. If you've got an afternoon delight or a memory or thought on Ian Fairweather, we would love to hear it. 8223 0000. We're going to speak to Neil on the other side of this break. I do want to give you my afternoon delight, if I can, just to start the show. And this is more for the socials, I'll be honest. This is more for the Facebook and the YouTube live stream. And this is totally self-indulgent, but hey, that's what Afternoon Delight is all about. Because we had one of the great sporting moments on the weekend. And no, I'm not talking about last night against the Saints. I'm talking about yesterday for the mighty Henley Sharks under 17.5 football team, because we, like so many yesterday, were playing and it was horrendous conditions. You know, the ground was in pretty bad nick because it's had a lot of foot traffic and it's rained and all the rest of it. We had a lightning break. So just at half time, there was a huge crack of lightning in the western suburbs. And so all the boys had to go off for half an hour, and then they came back on and they had 2 10-minute quarters, the third and fourth quarter. Well, let me set the scene for you. And again, you've got to watch this. The audio is not great on the radio, but you can always go back to Facebook and YouTube and rewatch this. But imagine this, if you will. The Henley Sharks are down by 2 points, and a goal is kicked after the siren by Tate Waldeck, 40 metres out, and he nails it. And it gives Henley the win. And if you watch the video on the live stream now, you can see it's like we've just won the AFL Grand Final. It was ridiculous. And, you know, very, very few of these events come across in your lifetime where you get to see an after-the-goal siren. So much so was the excitement of Tate's goal that they cheered him off. Look at that on the live stream. And there's the score, 38. 30 to 28 in the end, 4-6 to 4-4. So low scoring. But that was the highlight of my weekend. As good as that game was last night against the Saints and what that all means, to see and after the siren goal was something special. So that's what we're after for our afternoon delight. If you've got one and you want to share, 8223 0000. We'd love to hear it. We'll take a short break. On the other side, we'll pay tribute to Ian Fairweather, legend of South Australian television, who passed away over the weekend.
Hi, Callum Hand here, Ambassador for Pick a Local, Pick SA. South Australian citrus is now in season. Riverland grown mandarins, oranges, limes, lemons, all bursting with flavour and can be found in your local fruit and veg store right now. Or why not try something new this season and grab a Tangelo, Cara Cara or Blood Orange. Support our local growers and shop in stores displaying the red Pick a Local, Pick SA sign. And follow us on Facebook for inspiration, recipes and more ways to enjoy South Australian grown.
At Nurse Next Door Home Care Services, we believe in making lives better and that our people are at the heart of everything we do. It's not just about aged care or disability support. It's about helping people keep living life their way. Right now, we have a range of career opportunities available. If you have high standards and a passion for helping others, we'd love to hear from you. Visit nursenextdoor.com.au to find out more.
Is your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable? Introducing new Caruso's Bloaties. Caruso's Bloaties contains peppermint and ginger, which are traditionally used in Western herbal medicine to relieve belly bloating, plus digestive enzymes to help your body digest lactose and fat. So if you're fed up with your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable, try Caruso's Bloaties today. Caruso's Bloaties is available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
When you renovate a home, you're going into full-time rubbish production.
How so?
The first stage of renovation is demolition.
We make that junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
When they begin installing the upgrades, a second mountain appears.
Construction scraps and packaging rise into the sky.
We make that mountain disappear too.
All you have to do is point.
We make room for possibilities.
We make room for possibilities.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1800gotjunk.com.au.
At MediPedi, we believe in making people feel good from the ground up. Combining the skills of podiatry with the indulgence of beauty therapy, MediPedi is a first-of-its-kind concept. The MediPedi Medical Pedicure is Adelaide's best pedicure. Imagine this. Your feet are expertly treated by a podiatrist, then pampered by a fully trained beauty therapist. The result? Feet that just don't feel great, they look fantastic too. With 4 Adelaide locations, book now at medipediclinics.com.au. MediPedi, feel good from the ground up.
When you're a celiac, one crumb and you're done. You've probably experienced a piece of bread placed on your meal and the kitchen just takes it off and sends the plate back. Or parties where your child has to bring their own food. Gluten-Free Creations is a celiac accredited bakery. They create great tasting and affordable cakes, slices, pies, pasties and sausage rolls, quiches, breads and even meal packs. Gluten-Free Creations, North East Road, Tea Tree Gully. Safe for celiacs, great for everyone to enjoy.
At Drummond Golf, the passion for the game doesn't stop at the counter. Introducing the Drummond Club, Australia's biggest membership for every type of golfer. For a one-time fee of just $39.95, you'll unlock lifetime benefits, including store-wide discounts, monthly specials and loyalty vouchers on the biggest brands. Plus, the latest gear, including clubs built specifically for you, are built totally free. Lift your game with the Drummond Club at Drummond Golf, Australia's biggest golf retailer.
5AA Afternoons with Leith Forrest.
17 minutes after 3, 8223 0000 for your calls. If you've got a afternoon delight for us, we'd love to hear it. Every caller at the end of the show in the running for a family pass to the show, which is 4 weeks away. We've got your attendance covered. You can spend all your money on the rides, the sideshows and the attractions. 8223 0000 if you've got a good news story to tell us. Some sad news over the weekend, but in a way, often this happens when someone passes, is that you get to pay tribute and discuss how great they were. So beloved television personality Ian Fairweather passed away over the weekend at the age of 86. Mainstay, Channel 9 in the 60s, the 70s and the 80s. A man who would have worked and known him very well, no doubt, is Neil Smith, former producer of Here's Humphrey and also The Curiosity Show. He joins me this afternoon. Lovely to have you on, Neil. Thank you for your time.
G'day, Leith. Good to talk to you, mate.
Sorry for your loss, first and foremost. I wasn't around in Adelaide at the time, but it's a name that I've heard on this radio station for the 20-plus years I've worked here, Neil, about a beloved personality, Ian Fairweather.
Yes, he was very well known because he was on our screens from the start of television, really, at Channel 9. But also not just in sort of one program because, yes, he was well known for his work in children's television and he was very instrumental in developing Here's Humphrey and then the Curiosity Show. But, of course, he also appeared on the Ernie Sigley show, Adelaide Tonight.
Yes.
So a lot of people grew up knowing this character, Ian Fairweather.
And a life that you led as well, Neil, where there was so much television being made and created in Adelaide at that time.
Well, especially children's television, which was my patch for about 15 years. It was, the major supplier of television for children around the Nine network.
So those early days, Here's Humphrey obviously was huge. What were the other shows? The Channel 9ers, and there were a number of shows, weren't there?
Yes, well, the Channel 9ers was, live every afternoon. That eventually became Come On Kids, which had a national footprint that was broadcast around the Nine network at 4 o'clock weekdays. There was a few other spin-offs from that, a quiz show called Guess What? But really it was Humphrey and then Curiosity shows that were the most well-known in that period of Ian's time.
And during the Curiosity show that you were a part of too, there was a number, I remember even as a kid, growing up in the mid to late 80s when we would see that on our television with Rob and Dean. You must have done hundreds of episodes of that.
Yes, we were producing about 40 episodes a year of Curiosity Show. I mean, there was a time when Here's Humphrey was being produced at the rate of over 150 one-hour episodes a year. It was a real pipeline, but it was a busy place because we had Adelaide Today, we had Ann Will's movie scene, we did a lot of sport. I eventually became head of production and we were involved in, obviously, SANFL football, and we did live telecasts of Sheffield Shield cricket, live telecasts of Oakbank. Occasionally, I remember doing some Adelaide Cups. And during the football, of course, there was the finals were always exciting. Then there was the McGarry Medal. So it was a busy place.
It's incredible, isn't it? So when Ian passes, often is the case, Neil, where you get to reflect. Have you got memories or are there thoughts? Graham Goodings was saying to me earlier today that for a cutthroat industry like your own, you wouldn't meet a nicer, more wonderful, talented, kind of brilliant man than Ian Fairweather.
Yeah, that's pretty good insight. He was a really nice man, but we shouldn't underestimate that he was also very clever. When I didn't start till 78, and I actually started as a researcher and advisor in the children's program area and then moved into Curiosity shows. So Ian was my boss. And what I appreciated about Ian was that even though he had this high profile in Australian television, but especially in Adelaide, as someone head of the department producing so much children's shows, he was really keen to have people around him that he knew and trusted. He had an advisor in Elizabeth Mansutti, who was an educational specialist. He looked to Dean Hunt and Rob Morrison for their insight and their background. He didn't just do it alone. He was very thoughtful about fostering people around, encouraging us. And I really enjoyed working with him because he was really enthusiastic about the cause of children's television.
You know what it's like when you get nostalgic on the show, Neil, where people talk about, people that they remember from television. All these other names pop up as well. If I was to throw the name Ann North at you, this is from one of our callers, Mark, earlier.
Yes.
Are there other names that come up when you think of Ian and that time in Adelaide television?
Yes, well, Ann North, former Miss Telethon. That's another project that, of course, in the heady days of television, we actually had all-night telethons. Glenys O'Brien was on Channel, went on to marry Ernie Sigley.
Okay.
Ernie, I only had 1 year with Ernie he came back to do some Adelaide Tonights. Ian got rounded up again, which he dreaded. It wasn't his favourite thing to do Adelaide Tonight. He didn't consider himself a sort of a variety star. He was much more dedicated to the children's television. Then Pete Smith did a year of variety shows at 9 in those days.
Okay.
So it was...
As in Sale of the Century Copper Art, Pete Smith from Melbourne? Or a different one? Yeah, wow, okay.
So then, of course, we would have telethon events, or the footy show would come to town, or the Saturday night idiots would come in and amuse us. It was a buzzy place.
Neil Smith is my guest, former producer. Here's Humphrey, also the Curiosity Show, as we pay tribute to Ian Fairweather, who passed away at the age of 86. Are you one of those, Neil, where you look and you think, gosh, we lived through the heady days of television? Now, there are still some shows that are being made out of Adelaide on the 3 networks, but nowhere near to the extent. I mean, maybe that was the sort of the golden age, the 60s, the 70s through to the early 80s here in Adelaide.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate to have started when I did, when there was so much television going on and so much live television. But I get together occasionally with some of my former colleagues, and one of them asked me when I started, I said 78, what about yourself? 1960, what about you? 1961. So there's all these people that started as young kids, really, in a new industry, and many of them contributed for a long period of time. I remember Malcolm Foreman, my cinematographer that I worked with first on Curiosity Show, and then through everything from Variety Bashes to Out of the Blue. These people had incredible careers working in all sorts of projects.
And it's interesting, isn't it, where someone like Humphrey that Ian was part of from Here's Humphrey, still a beloved figure today in people's hearts and minds, no matter what they are, young children or children at heart, and even some of our callers before talking about some of the other characters. Was it Bobo the Clown? This is a bit before my time.
Bobo the Clown.
Bobo the Clown.
Yes, he was grew out of the Channel 9ers, but he did defect to Channel 10.
Okay.
We had Winky Dink, the duck on the kids' shows.
Yes.
Wilbur Worm, even before that, was a bit of a character. But Humphrey was special. It was kind of silly, this sort of speechless, inanimate thing that danced around. But Humphrey had a special way of communicating with kids, and the production team were very good. The scripts that they wrote, effort. People like Malcolm Haslett and Penny Ann Smith, they were completely dedicated to Humphrey, and they worked really hard. In the early days, there was no editing. You just had to record one segment after another.
Yeah.
It could get quite tense.
I even remember your merch, Neil, because I remember having a Humphrey money box, one of the banks, you know, brown in stature. That was like that was everyone's pride and joy, that.
Well, it's funny. I was just up in Hahndorf with my visiting American niece, and in one of the shops there was some artwork, and one of them was a little Humphrey Bear poster, and it had on the top, "What a funny old fellow is Humphrey."
It's so great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely memories. Neil, thank you for sharing. Sorry again for your loss and for the industry's loss. As I say, I never got to meet Ian, but certainly it's a name that is synonymous with the glory days of Adelaide television, particularly on this radio station when people get nostalgic. So thanks so much for sharing. Really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome.
All the best. Former producer of Here's Humphrey and also The Curiosity Show, Neil Smith, my guest, paying tribute to Ian Fairweather, 86 years of age, had a fall, sadly, and passed away at Gosford across the weekend. We'll get to headlines. We'll take your calls on the other side, but for a trip down memory lane. First... How good is that? I love the idea that one of those kids is probably listening to the show now as a grown adult. There's the theme song from Humphrey. And again, the Curiosity Show brings back so many great memories for people. Let's take a listen to that theme from back in the day. Too much synthesizer is never enough. There we are, Curiosity Show and Humphrey. Rest in peace, Ian Fairweather.
Hi, it's Will Goodings here. You can catch me alongside Stacey each weekday for 5AA Breakfast. Without a doubt, the easiest way to listen these days is with the 5AA Player app on your phone. Whatever your morning routine, if you're walking the dog, going to the gym, grabbing a coffee, the latest news and opinion to start your day is always as close as your phone. Just hit play and take us with you wherever your morning takes you.
The 5AA Player.
G'day, Keith Conlon here. I've been working with Fusion Clinical Research now for the past couple of years. In that time, I've watched Fusion grow to become an important, in fact, vital contributor to health research in South Australia. But it isn't only in our state that Fusion's research provides lasting benefits to community health. Their results are recognised and accepted beyond our shores. Fusion. Trusted research. Proven results.
With Police Credit Union's special offer low-rate home loan, you could save thousands with no monthly, annual or package fees. Switch your home loan and watch your savings soar with a low variable rate of 5.89% per annum and 5.93% per annum comparison rate. Apply today at Police Credit Union. TCs and lending criteria apply. Minimum loan amount $150K, 80% max LVR. This comparison rate is based on a secured loan of $150K over 25 years and is true only for the examples given and may not include all fees and charges. Different terms, fees or other loan amounts might result in a different comparison rate.
Where is Adelaide's finest furniture showroom? Nordic Design Furniture in Stepney. Adelaide's best kept secret is just 5 minutes from the city. It's genuinely an experience. Nordic Design Furniture not only have a large showroom, but they manufacture all their pieces right here in Adelaide since 1972. Lounges, dining suites, bedroom and cabinetry. See how real furniture is made or visit their impressive website. Stunning quality you'll immediately enjoy. Nordic Design in Stepney.
There's something lovely about clearing a little space. And Knorr Metals is ready to help you do just that. If you've got an old fridge in the shed, some copper piping from a reno, or a pile of scrap metal you've been meaning to deal with, don't take it for granted. When Knorr Metals in Ottaway will take it for cash. Copper, brass, aluminium, stainless steel, if it's metal, there's value in it. Declutter your home and reclaim your space. Knorr Metals. Cash for scrap.
What makes Ray White the big name in business broking? They're people, like multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year, Brett Buckley, and his team of business professionals. They take a deep dive into your business, finding value and potential, and they know what they're looking for because they know businesses. They're not real estate salespeople trying to sell businesses, they're business people selling businesses. If you want to know what your business is worth, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Multiple Business Broker of the Year awards.
At McGill's Fresh Seafood, you're not guessing what's fresh. You're getting the real deal. Owner Andy hails from Port Lincoln and has spent decades in the fishing and seafood retail industry. It means he knows better than most, dealing with local suppliers, sourcing fresh seafood daily from all over Australia, then processed on-site by his team. From fresh fillets to frozen favourites, McGill's has the full range of Australian seafood. Visit McGill's Fresh Seafood at McGill Village Shopping Centre. Bought today, sold today.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon. Mel Usher with the news headlines. The state government will establish a royal commission into artificial intelligence. The Premier says it's about maximising the benefits and minimising the unwanted impacts from AI. The Prime Minister has held talks with opposition leader Angus Taylor to try and reach a compromise on various policy issues. Air Services Australia has apologised for major flight delays at Sydney Airport in recent days, blaming a shortage of air traffic controllers. And in sport, Taylor Walker says it's finally the right time to announce his retirement from AFL football. The 5AA forecast: showers this afternoon, showers increasing tomorrow, 17. Right now it is 15 degrees. We'll have more news at 4 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
You know the old adage, could it have just been an email? Do we need the press conference today? Did we learn anything from the press conference today that we didn't already know?
The AI announcement. Yeah, well, you know, we all got that alert a little bit earlier this afternoon, a major announcement from the Premier of South Australia. So you start thinking, okay, what's this going to be about?
Yeah, you go 0 to 100.
I was a bit surprised it was AI. I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking it was
no
going to be...
more trees down, the golf's off, the golf course is staying.
I thought maybe it was bird flu related or they'd found a buyer for the Whyalla Steelworks or something like that.
No.
Yeah, AI. But he has just returned, the Premier, from a trip to the United States where he was hobnobbing with, you know, the creme de la creme of industry, including Apple's Tim Cook. A few videos over the weekend. So obviously AI, he was, you know, he's big on social media for young kids and teenagers, and now AI is becoming one of his sort of pet projects as well.
But does it matter if South Australia has a Royal Commission and the rest of the country doesn't, I guess is the question.
Well, I suppose it is. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think the emergence of AI has been so fast and we're very good at sort of doing ourselves out of being relevant that we do need to put some safeguards in place and maybe just say, hang on a sec, we don't want it sort of destroying us. We want to make it work for us. We don't want to, you know, we want to make sure we're on the right side of history. So unfortunately, these things take time and it won't be till the middle of next year when findings are released. I mean, we don't even know the terms of reference yet or who's going to be sitting on the
I get the
board.
sense it's kind of the thing that the Prime Minister should have done, not necessarily a Premier. Maybe it's, again, just another reminder why Peter Malinowska should be our PM as opposed to our Premier.
We are leading the countries in many, many ways, and social media, look how that sort of took off first in South Australia, his whole idea about banning it for underages, and then it went nationwide, and then all of a sudden he's on American talk shows talking about it, and England and France and all sorts of places around the globe are adopting it. So he's a trailblazer, our Premier. So
meanwhile, Albo's.
Well, Albo's in trouble again.
He is in trouble. Just read the data. On a much happier note, although sadness, because it is paying tribute to a legend, you are as quintessential Adelaide as they come. You would remember the glory days of the Curiosity Show, and here's Humphrey being a young girl watching TV.
Oh, yeah, you know, and if you saw Dean Hutton and Rob Morrison on the TV, and then if you happened to see them out in, you know, in real life, it was really a big deal. And I thought it was really special because I actually had a connection to Dean. Like his father was a photographer and he knew my grandfather, and not that, you know, probably they were even alive by the time I was around, but, you know, it was
but you had an in to the Curiosity Show. Yeah.
I knew someone who knew someone, you know, and about 15 years ago, I went to Science Alive at the showgrounds when the Curiosity guys were appearing, and they did a presentation. You know, we all went into a big sort of makeshift theatre for an hour or so, and they did a presentation, and it was like sitting in front of my TV again as a 10-year-old, watching them do these, you know, pretty basic things, I suppose, nowadays, just showing, you know, how gravity works and how bubbles are made and all sorts of things. But I've sat there transfixed for an hour or so. It was much better than science at school.
We had them for conversations with Cornsey, both. Dean did it separately, Rob did it separately. And again, you're right, it was like your childhood sitting in front of you. Because most kids in the 80s, for us, you and I of our age, we just grew up on a staple of the Curiosity Show.
And that was when we did just make things out of whatever we found in the backyard.
Stealth education, that's right. What can I find in Science Lab that I can just put together and, you know, come up with some concoctions?
We did okay. We're not, you know.
We're in radio, we're not in science, but hey, no, we did.
I think the science community be glad I'm not in science after the things I have let rip on this show recently.
Same, correct. Bunsen burners at the ready. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you.
More news at 4.
Always local. 5AA. Always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
Righto, your afternoon delights to finish the show on this Monday. Have you got some good news, some happy news, a story to tell us? 8223 0000, $50 voucher to Quincy's Confectionery to give away. A reminder that every call is in the running for the show tickets. Rosemary from Ulibarri. Happy Monday to you, Rosemary.
Happy Monday to you too, Lee. It's a little bit better weather driving home at the moment.
Oh, I imagine.
But firstly, just listening to Mel, she actually is an afternoon delight. She really, really is.
Oh, Mel's the afternoon. Yes, I like it.
No,
Right.
she's not. But just listening to her, she is so. She's got it all. She's been everywhere, seen every artist.
Yeah.
And I just love her stories. But no, my afternoon delight is about Ian Fairweather, and I've got another one as well.
Sure.
Ian Fairweather, I grew up bringing my son up with him and the Curiosity Show, and we had Humphrey items all the way around. He was such a delight in our life, you know, and the Curiosity Show. But on Tex, I'd just like to say that Tex Walker, he just feels like a son to me. With his children, I love seeing his children and Ellie around. And on a Saturday night, in that rain, that would have been driven anyone at the age and the time he's been playing to question, can he go on another year? Yes. I just absolutely adore and have such fond... We don't have much in our life. We've got our grandchild, our son and daughter-in-law, and to have them as part of I consider them part of our family. You know, they're not.
Yep.
But that's how I see them.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And coming down the steps, we actually went undercover on Sunday night, and we were on the third floor. And coming down, we always wait till the last to come down because of George's leg, his foot. He can't get out and down steps quickly. Anyway, we thought we'd let most of them down, so we started getting out of this little part we were in. And there were younger ones coming down. I thought, oh, my gosh, we should have let them go. And the girl that was in front of it, she said, come on, guys, stop, just stop. Let these people through. And she said, and we can help them. And anyway, I had 3 bags that I was carrying. One of the guys actually got hold of George's arm and helped him down. And this girl took the 3 bags I had. I was bringing tears to my eyes, and helped us down the steps and put the bags on the walker. And honestly, and then I found out she was an air hostess from one of the guys. And I just thought, what a wonderful, and I didn't find out with whom or her name, what a fantastic example of humanity and also for the company she works for.
Well done, Rosemary. You know what? In a way, that's 3 afternoon delights. So Mel and Taylor, and well done to the Crows supporter who does that. And you would like to think there would be a bit more humanity about that. That would be very nice for people to be polite and courteous. And clearly, if people need some help and assistance, to let them on through. That will be lovely. Good on you, Rosemary. Lovely to hear from you. Thank you for that. We'll get to more afternoon delights very shortly. 8223 0000 is the number. If you'd like to join us, we've got show tickets to give away at the end of the show. Every caller that makes it to air is in the running for that. Just before we get to the break and more calls, I did want to speak to Dr. Heather Holmes-Ross, who is the LGA South Australian President. This is on the story we were discussing earlier about what councils pay their CEOs versus what the Premier is earning. Hello, Heather. Lovely to have you on. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for having me.
Is it unfair criticism, do you think?
Well, it's not comparing apples with apples. So the Premier is an elected person and his heads of department are paid more than him. So he gets, $450,000 a year. But his heads of department, so the people that run his, the government's business, get, between $600,000 and $800,000 a year to do that. So they're the ones that do the delivery and the government are the ones that make the decisions. So it's the same at a council level, but the comparison should be not to the Premier, but to what the mayors and the CEOs are getting, and also to the department heads at the state government level.
Yes.
So the comparison between the Premier and CEOs isn't a fair one. But the other thing is, it's not set by councils. These numbers are set by the Remuneration Tribunal that are an independent body. They're outside the control of state government or local government, and they come up with the numbers. And it's really important for us as a sector to attract and keep, highly qualified people with experience, because we don't want them coming into councils not knowing what they're doing, messing up the finances, messing up the delivery and leaving. So we really, really need to be able to pay our CEOs a reasonable amount.
Yes.
And that varies across the councils. So it varies from, I think, about 190,000 at the smaller councils up to 450,000 for the larger councils. And, of course, City of Adelaide is in its own band, and their CEO, they can pay up to 495,000. But when you compare that to a department head at approaching $800,000, that seems quite reasonable, yeah. I think.
It's one of those old chestnuts, isn't it, Heather, where this comes up a lot, where, because everyone looks at, and I guess that's what happens when you make pay packets public, I guess. As the LGA, as our leading local government association of South Australia, do you get tired of that argument? Like, do you see us versus, say, Queensland? That was what Sarah Games suggested, that there are X amount of councillors in Queensland, there are X amount here in South Australia. Do you think we need to fine-tune, or are you pretty happy with where we're at?
I think there's always, the possibility of improving. We should never say that we are at our best. But I think, and I think perhaps there is room for more of a hub and spoke model, particularly in the regions where it is difficult to attract people and retain them. And so maybe the oversight could be from a hub rather than on the ground there. But the most important thing to residents and people on the ground is that they have local representation.
Yes.
So as long as they're electing their members and their members are working for them, there's a lot of back office things that don't need to happen right there. And so that's where saving can be found, is at the shared services type models. And that's what we're doing at the LGA, is working really hard to create better shared services to become more efficient. But we still want to retain that local representation, which is really important to people.
Yeah, one of our callers, Mark, suggested that. He said, be careful what you wish for amalgamating councils in a large state. Local is closer, services remain. Less councils, less service.
And I think, yes, definitely less tailor-made services, because that's why local government exists, because each community wants different things, and this is why we don't have a cookie-cutter approach. This is why we do have local government, because, we provide different things in the regions compared to in the metropolitan area, for example, because in the regions, the community is already there. People are already interacting with people all the time. So that's not as big an emphasis, whereas in the city, for example, we spend a lot of time trying to bring people together and trying to build that resilience through individual connections. So, we're all different, and we're all providing for our community what that specific community needs. And I don't think we'd like to see that eroded. I think the communities across South Australia would feel sad if they didn't have that kind of representation.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time, Heather. Appreciate you taking our call.
Absolutely. Absolute pleasure, Lee.
All the best.
Thank you.
Enjoy your afternoon. Dr. Heather Holmes-Ross, LGA South Australia President, leading the advocacy and the discussions when it comes to state and federal government decision makers and the key stakeholders, having her say on the issue of who should be paid more, the Premier or councillors and CEOs of councils. As the doctor said, it's not really like for like. Not apples and apples. Your call's next, 13 to 4.
He's one of Adelaide's favourite sons. He loves his Adelaide Crows. And each week he joins David and Will to share his footy tips and have a few laughs. Catch Fitzy, thanks to Walco. Walco are at the centre of SA's biggest cover-up with their incredibly good-looking Walco mesh pool cover.
Hey, it's it's Lauren here from Adelaide. And if you're like me and you love a good bargain from your local chemist, check out Star Discount Chemist. They're all about great value and helping your family stay healthy. Go in store or online for click and collect and delivery. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help?
Join me, Leith Forrest, as I chat with some of the biggest names from around the world. Find the Afternoons with Leith Forrest podcast on the 5AA Player app.
Calling all South Australians aged between 18 to 55. CMAX Clinical Research is seeking healthy volunteers like you to join an important clinical trial. Your involvement will support research for Prader-Willi syndrome, a rare genetic condition that affects approximately 1 in 15,000 babies. By taking part, you'll spend 4 nights at CMAX in Adelaide CBD, attend 1 follow-up visit and get paid for your time. Interested in making a real difference? Apply today at cmax.com.au.
Discover the Viking homelands with those who know it best on a captivating 15-day voyage through the Baltic and North Seas with Viking. From the picturesque waterways of Stockholm to the historic harbour of Bergen, each destination offers deep immersion into Nordic culture and history. And for a limited time, book your next ocean voyage and enjoy included economy airfares up to $2,800 per person. Viking, no kids and no casinos. See your Viking travel advisor or visit Viking.com.
Maybe you're not winning a sprint anytime soon, but you're not old. Try experienced. That's more like it. You've lived, you've experimented with things, so now you know what you like. With Support at Home by Rest Haven, we help with that. From jobs around the home to nursing and clinical care. We've been around for over 90 years, so we know how you can stay living your way in your home. Experience counts. Find out more at resthaven.asn.au.
You might remember Medic Alert as the bracelet that said asthma or diabetes or penicillin allergy. But Medic Alert has upgraded. Today, Medic Alert wearable accessories can connect first responders to your private medical profile by QR code. You control the information, you keep it updated. Because in an emergency, the smallest detail can make the biggest difference. Medic Alert is no longer just a bracelet. It's your medical story. View the range of wearables online at medicalert.org.au.
Who can fix the shower?
Service today.
Who can fix the power?
Service today.
Yes, we can, is what we say at Service Today.
From emergency plumbing to electrical and heating and cooling, no matter what size job you need, at Service Today, the answer will always be yes, we can. It's Service Today guaranteed or it's free.
Can you fix the shower? Yes, we can. Can you fix the power? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, is what we say at Service Today.
Look out for our bright yellow trucks.
5AA Afternoons with Leith Forrest.
10 minutes to 4. Stephen Rowe, Tim Ginniver coming up from 4 o'clock. Big sports show on the way with the announcement of the retirement of Taylor Walker. Be listening for that. A lot of people paying tribute to the great Texan. It is Afternoon Delight. We want to hear your good news stories, your fun stories across the weekend or today.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon Delight.
Graham from Henley. Have you got one for us, Graham?
Okay, well, just quickly, that last call about wages for councillors and the Premier.
Yep.
To suggest that a councillor's worth more than the Premier, I'm sorry, I just can't get my head around them.
Well, I guess they're saying it's not apples and apples. You're talking about heads of business versus CEOs of councils. One's elected, one's headhunted, really.
I get that, Leith. We've got a person that's responsible for the whole state, and we've got a person responsible for a council.
Yeah.
And they get more than the person responsible for the whole state.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it doesn't equate.
No, I find it hard too. It's one of those ones where it just doesn't pass the test in my mind, Graham. I'd have to, find out exactly.
Anyway, sorry.
Never mind.
Back to Afternoon Delight, mate. Just before we were show, Collins is from Glenelg, and I'm a Port supporter, so I have a bit of aversion against Collins. But nevertheless, I love his conversation. He had one with Henry Young. Prior to your show.
Yep.
Now, it might have been a repeat. I hadn't heard it before. But what a wonderful life. What a wonderful treasure.
Yeah.
It is to South Australia.
100%.
And he's 102 now, I believe.
Age is just a number. Playing tennis in Croatia and doing all the rest of it. Yeah, no, it was great, wasn't it? That's the first time I'd heard that one too. That may be new.
I mean, he's in World War II, flying Spitfires, doing this, doing that. having multiple girlfriends. The interview was just fantastic. And congratulations to Cornsey for it.
Well done, Graham. Well, afternoon delight the stud. We are more than happy to do that. Thank you for that. Quentin from Old Ranella. Q, you got a afternoon delight for us?
Well, it was yesterday afternoon about, I think it was about 4:30 it happened. Gold Coast Suns finally had a bloody win after 10 weeks of absolute horror. Worst season ever for our club and for me. But it came up all right. But then it was crushed about 4 hours later by Carlton beating St Kilda. So we can't make the finals all because of your Blues. So good on them.
Sorry about that.
But overall, it's a delight because my wife's team, Fremantle, are sitting on top of the ladder, so I've got that one to hang my hat on.
Well, they're going all right, aren't they? Never won the flag, as we know, the Dockers, so this might be the year they're going well. Oof.
We're keeping a lid on it because, like my wife always says, she says, they bloody disappoint me this time of the year. We're not talking about it yet.
I think
my delight was that my son's had a bloody win. Fantastic.
Well done. Well, hopefully you can do one more for us. I think in the last round you'll take on the Saints.
I'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got Brisbane next week, and then we've got the Saints. We'll see what we can do. Matty Rao might just have a lazy another
40
possessions.
Yeah, please. If you could do that, that would be rather handy for the team above them. Quentin, excellent afternoon delight from you. Well done. Chuck all your chips into the Fremantle basket. Linda from Heathfield, you got an afternoon delight for us, Linda?
Yes, I'm a dog lover. I've got a beautiful, loyal Kelpie who's 6 years old, and I'd wished I'd done this ages ago because they pull and it doesn't do anything for your knees. And I've tried all the different harnesses, all the different leads, and I've finally bit the bullet and put a halter on him. And he's the perfect walker now, absolutely perfect walker.
Well done.
It's just a delight to take out. So that was just my, doggy thing.
Well done. Well, hey, they just bring you so much joy, Linda, and you're right. Anyone that walks a dog that has a dog that pulls knows how infuriating it is, and if you can find the right... So is it a halty? Is it clipped at the front or clipped at the back? What's made it such a great...
Yeah, it's a halty.
Yep.
And, you know, he's 6 years old, never had a halty on, took him into the pet store and said, I'm going to give this a go because a walking group keeps saying, he's going to pull you over, he's going to pull you over. So I walked in there, he sat down there and he tried on 2 different sizes and he was just as calm as anything.
Excellent. Well done.
They're just so loyal.
Good on you, Linda. Thank you for that. You're in the running. Madeline's about to tell me the winner of our Quincy's $50 voucher and our Royal Show tickets. Oh, Sandra from Mawson Lakes has won the show tickets. Congratulations, Sandra. All of our callers into the hat for that one. You've won a family pass to the 2026 Royal Adelaide Show. Nothing like the show presented by Drake's. If you miss it, you'll be left with a serious case of SHOMO. You can visit theshow.com.au and Drake's supermarkets. And, Quentin has won the Quincy's. Thank you, Madeline, and thank you to all of our callers. Well done, Q. You'll enjoy the Quincy's $50 voucher. That'll make your day. You can watch the Suns and enjoy that. Tim Ginniver is back. Speaking of a little SHOMO, sorry about the Grange. I felt very bad that
I don't think you were.
I know it too.
No.
I felt bad that you weren't here. And I said to
No. And then somebody shows me when I'm up in Darwin, hey, what happened there? Oh, your text message is on social media.
That's right. I may have given that to Tim Ashdown because he said to me he loves a bit of content.
It was actually very good.
I hope the boys saved some for you.
Oh, of course they didn't.
At least, no, they didn't. They did. I described it as, with footballers and coaches, it's all about ball protection.
Yeah.
Rose ball protection on that Magnum of Grange.
How big was the Magnum?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was the big hua.
Not 1.5. We're talking like 3 litre or something.
Might have been. Yeah, $2,500.
Oh wow.
Anyway, let's not mention the war. Taylor Walker, bit of love for Tex on the show tonight.
Obviously, he's announced his retirement. It's going to be a huge night, I think, of tributes and the like. I reckon it's always important not to speak about these things in the past tense.
Yeah,
he was,
correct.
He still is.
Yeah, somebody texted before I didn't read it. It's like he hasn't passed away, and I like,
correct,
I know,
correct.
We're just showing our
so
love.
you've got to show the love without talking in the past tense, because he's got a lot more important games to play in the next few weeks. But it's a massive career, obviously, one of the greats of the Adelaide Crows. So we're going to be celebrating that. Rory Sloane will come on. We'll have Phil Harper, who was there right at the beginning when he was recruited, of course. Max Michaelani will be on to talk probably about that, and obviously the games coming up. Freo, massive game on Friday night. Campo will give us the coach's corner, and there's some cricket happening. Jake Weatherall is going to talk about the test match that's commencing this week against Bangladesh in Darwin.
I looked at the weather, 31 degrees.
I was up there preparing the pitch.
Well done. Thank you. The new Les Better. Just quickly, in a word before we get to the news, is there any... Do you think Taylor Part has gone, you know what, we were pretty ordinary against the Tigers, but we just got over the line. I announce it now. It's all chips in. It's come on, let's do it. Is there any part of you that thinks that? Like I thought, you know what, maybe it's a nice way to go.
I reckon
maybe it's a kick in the pants.
When you've seen what's happened with previous players of this era and the like, I reckon that conversation's going on all year.
Okay.
I reckon that conversation's going on all year. So
sometimes you need a little prod. Just boys, come on, we got 4 weeks, 5 weeks to go.
I know what you're saying. Would you use it as a tool?
Yeah.
It was the timing of it. I doubt it. I think it's been, I think it's pretty much this was going to happen. Where you do it, that they may have well placed that, but I don't think it had that motivation.
Big farewell
but might
tour.
from here.
Yeah. If I'm Matty Nix, I'm using it. I can't wait. Sports show, paying tribute to Tex.